Hi, welcome to Brady's Blunders, where I show the mistakes in my games, hoping you don't make the same ones in yours. This is the same game as in the previous video, and much later. In the previous video, I should have played B, which was a tsuji to confine white to the side. And I asked viewers what the name of the tsuji was and learned it was a kolak. So thanks for everyone who replied to that. Of course, I didn't play that tsuji. I played the slow extension at A, and this allowed white to go ahead and push me down for a long time. And you can see that this whole black group is maybe alive, but hasn't really gained much in the way of points. Furthermore, white was able to attack this other black group, and it is also not completely alive and has had to run towards the center. And so you can see with two running groups and not many points gained, so far this game is not good for black. It was at this point that I decided to try to vaguely connect my two groups and solve all my problems. White asked, "Are you sure you can connect?" And I said, "Yep, I think so." And you can see that this move at A is really nicely positioned. And I think at this point, white got a little bit nervous and decided to go ahead and settle his weak group while threatening a few of my stones. Since my group is still cuttable here, I decided to go ahead and connect this way. And now I had two weakish groups that are now connected and therefore strong. So the move looks slow, but had a purpose. And this is where white makes his mistake. He pushed through here. And again, he's saying, "Can you connect?" And then I played here. And it was around this time that I think he realized, oh, he definitely can. But he went ahead and took gote anyway with this move and picked up the stone. The reason this was really bad for white is he picked up two stones in gote, gaining 4 points. But I'm thoroughly and cleanly connected now. And by driving me through this way, he's really hurt this group. And this is where we get to the game problem. When I looked at the situation now, I thought that the connection between these three stones and these stones was vague. And I wanted to try to punish him for it. So if you were black, where would you play now? And keep in mind, it's not a single stone. This is middle game fighting, so you really have to figure out quite a few moves and variations to be completely correct. If you go ahead and pause, I'll wait for you here. Right. Well, I got the first move right, and I'll bet you a lot of you did too. If I want to split white, this looks like a good way to start. And white then played here, which I wasn't expecting. And this is where it all went wrong. And I played here. I played it for a few reasons, but one of which is I know that there's a lot of variations that start with black threatening to move these stones out. But unfortunately, in this position, it just wasn't the best. White covered. I played here. White forced me this way. And actually, with this, I die. And even if I can cut here and cut him into three groups, it just doesn't matter because I have less liberties than him, and this is the cutting group. So when I lose the cutting group and I lose the territory, I lose the game. And it's pretty much over at this point. So why did I play this? Like I said, I know that this can lead to some interesting variations, so I know that this is often the right place to start. But in this case, it's kind of fancy. It tries a little too hard and gave white another stone on the outside. And to be honest, when I played here, I was expecting white to connect this way, which of course would be bad because then I can just play here and you can see that these stones are already cut off and the game is good for black. So it's funny because I expected white to play a bad move, which is generally not a good idea. So when he played this, and being in Byoyomi, I reverted to a move I thought I understood but clearly didn't. So how should black think in a situation like this? Well, There are a couple of ideas, but I would say that before trying the fancy approach to disconnecting or defeating white, try the simple approach. Read that first. And there will be times when the simple approach doesn't work and you'll need to do the fancy approach like I did because it might be the best way or even the only way. But before you go ahead and try that, try the obvious move. And now that I say that, I'll bet you everyone is thinking this move. Okay, so what would happen? If white plays the obvious move, then black can go ahead and hane here. And this move looks pretty safe because and it's got follow-ups at A, B, and C, all of which are good for black. If white goes ahead and just tries to cover and confine black, black can start with the Satari, white answers, and then black pulls back here. Now A and B are mie for black, meaning that if white goes in and connects on the outside, then black can play here, capturing these 3 stones and gaining the lead. And if white plays the other one, connecting all of these stones, then black can just move out with this stone. And you can see that the group at A really doesn't have any eyes left and not much space to make eyes. So therefore, this variation isn't good for white. So what happens if white tries to be more severe like this? Well, again, the Satari is free and good, and black can play it, and then play this. Well, one thing to note is that it's already good for black because A is outside. White can't capture it, and therefore this white group is in deep trouble again. If white comes back and makes sure that at least these groups are connected, then when black jumps out here, again, A is getting swallowed up. So this is bad for white. So playing the obvious moves, now all of a sudden white would think, wow, it's not working for him. So this doesn't seem to work. And white can decide, all right, so that hane doesn't work and tiger's mouth, but let me try a looser connection. And again, if black tries the most direct and obvious route possible, it works. And that is just keep extending. And this leads to the second idea that I like, which is in a fight, solid straight shapes are often more efficient and more effective than loose, sort of loosey-goosey, moving all over type shapes. So you can see white, he's got multiple cutting points that he needs to protect because his stones aren't completely connected. Whereas this black, it's like a wedge poking through the, right through the heart of white. And it leaves, again, mie moves. So if white goes ahead and protects on this side, then this move cuts the white group off. White can't get both A and B. And if white connects here, then black can come back and play this and capture these 3 stones, gaining the lead. So this would be perfectly good for black. So these are just a few of many variations that I have in the game record. And I've stored that game record on Life 19 by 19, which is an English language bulletin board, and I've got the link and the information down below. Feel free to look at it if you like. And so what did I learn from this part of the game? Well, 2 things. And sometimes you need to be fancy to win a fight. But before looking at fancy, if you want to read something, start with the simple, straightforward variations. And often those will work. And then you don't need to be fancy. You can win easily. And I should have here. Second, straight shapes like this are extremely effective in close-in fights. And it's something worth remembering. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.